Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today for supporting manufacturing with Carousel at Jamf. We're really excited to talk about some of the workflows today, how we are using our partnership to support Apple devices for the manufacturing industry. And with me today are a few of our wonderful colleagues and partners. I have Eric Henry with us from Carousel Digital Signage. You'll hear more from him in just a bit. And alongside me is Danny Porter, and I'm Kat Garvis.
Hi, this is Eric, and we have an opportunity today to talk a little bit about the manufacturing story and how Carousel and Jamf have come together to address some of the challenges that are a little bit unique to the manufacturing space. And so if we want to take a look at an organization called Pallet Service, they are an organization that does actually pallet and wood processing and manufacturing. And they really had a mission within their organization to engage their culture, build some strong internal communications, and really get their teams engaged as they grow. And so a little bit about Pallet Service. They've been around for over 50 years, a traditional manufacturing environment, 3 facilities within Minnesota and Wisconsin, and a lot of diverse workers from the office to the shop floor, speaking multiple languages, and having even people that don't necessarily even have an email address or a personal device. And so there were some unique challenges again to how to communicate and engage their staff. And they really wanted to think about what that looked like as their organization grows. And I love this quote from Nick Wenner at Pallet Service. And he said, you know, we want to be successful. We want to reach that success the right way. And what Nick really believes for his organization is it's really important to make sure they have fair treatment of their employees. They take care of the employees' needs, keep them happy. And keeping them happy and engaged is really important every step of the way. And so just a quick example, you know, they do lots of potluck things and connecting first, second, and third shift people to one another and building a sense of community. And so making their teams aware of all of the things that are going on within the organization was a big challenge for them. And also communicating their core values. They really wanted to take those core values that sometimes are just pinned up on the wall and make them real and celebrate when their team exhibits the core values of their organization. And so those are just some of the expressed things that Nick and his team really wanted to accomplish throughout their facility, and they were looking at how they might do that with digital signage. So again, kind of just the problem statement here is how do we communicate updates dynamically with the teams and employees in real time through multiple shifts, multiple facilities, when an owner or management group can't be at all places at all times and even all shifts? How do you create an environment where people feel connected, everybody's hearing the same information, that it's communicated well in multiple languages, again, with people that might not even have a personal device to get that communication? And so they turned to the Carousel team and the Jamf team and really asked if we could help them solve their problem. So as we talked with Nick and his team about their challenges, we were able to determine that a great partnership between Jamf and Carousel and Apple would be a great way to really solve all of their needs in a really simple and powerful way. And so with that, I want to turn it over to Danny to talk a little bit more about the solution.
Yeah, thanks so much, Eric. Hey, everyone. As we're continuing to talk about helping solve the issue or supporting the team over at Pallet Services, one of the questions that continues to come up is to understand why these set of tools work together. Traditional digital signage networks are expensive. They're difficult to manage and are vulnerable to attack through potentially insecure devices. But Apple TV, Carousel Digital Signage, and Jamf are changing that narrative. With Jamf and Carousel, we're able to make setup extremely easy. Setting up their devices, you can choose whatever Apple device you're using in your organization, from a Mac to an Apple TV to an iPad, and you can help leverage those media players you already own and easily add more. You can deliver a zero-touch deployment across all of your devices, like you see on the screen, and you can keep your network safe and workflows efficient. Part of what lays the foundation to help make this possible is Jamf software. So Kat, would you share with us a little bit more about Jamf?
Thank you, Danny. So a little bit about us. Jamf, we were founded 19 years ago, really with one goal, and that's to empower people through technology. And we do that today by helping organizations be successful with the Apple platform. At Jamf, we focus exclusively on supporting Apple devices. And by Jamf focusing solely on Apple, this has allowed our customers to really benefit in having best-in-class support, more MDM features that speak directly to the Apple platform, specific workflows as we're discussing today, and ultimately customer satisfaction, where this has given us a 96% customer retention rate, and we have been labeled the #1 Apple MDM. And as you can see at Jamf, we help quite a few organizations. More than 50,000 organizations rely on us each day to help manage over 20 million in Apple devices counting globally. Being the world leader in Apple management, we're supporting from small businesses all the way up to the world's largest banks, tech companies, enterprise, government, education organizations, and essentially we have workflows to support them regardless of their Apple footprint and in many cases their use cases. So whether you have 5 devices or 5,000 or devices have very unique needs, we are here and happy to help, and we have a proven track record in doing so. And I want to spend some time talking a bit about device lifecycle management. So for today's session, inclusive of the Apple TV, but not limited to, from the time that device is first turned on to the time it's retired, we support that whole life cycle for your Apple devices. So from the time it is ordered and it is in shrink wrap to the point where we have it in signage and in use for your Apple TV, we want to make sure that we can help. And that's really from that zero touch statement through the device configuration, which is done over the air seamlessly. And then if there are any needs there or inventory management, we want to make sure that from the time that device is needed to the time that maybe it needs to be updated, we can be able to help. And Eric, I want to turn it over to you to talk a bit about Carousel.
Yes, thanks, Kat. And as Jamf has a mission to really empower organizations that have great experience with Apple, one of the things that the thing that we are all about is helping organizations create spaces where people feel welcomed, informed, and connected by using digital signage. And so today, specifically talking about manufacturing spaces, because oftentimes we don't necessarily think about the manufacturing shop floors, the break rooms, and all the other spaces as maybe the first place we would put digital signage. We've seen it certainly in lots of other places, but the manufacturing story is really, really compelling. And so you'll see from break room communication, highlighting employees and their success, and again, those core value things that I mentioned a little bit earlier, displaying achievements of the team and really providing real-time live notifications on the shop floor as well as in the break rooms, and doing things like informing staff during emergencies. And sometimes the emergency might be that there's ice cream in the break room at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and everybody's invited to take part and just spend some time celebrating a bit together. And doing things like displaying accident-free days. Safety protocols is certainly an important thing, and so it's kind of making those things come alive from posters on the wall to things that really help engage your community. And again, displaying in multiple languages. We actually have a couple of manufacturing partners who are putting displays side by side where they can display multiple languages because they understand the importance of dwell time and people seeing things passing by. And so there's just so many opportunities in the manufacturing space to really convey and connect and keep people informed and part of the community and understanding even who's all on the shift or who's on other shifts, and displaying types of things that engage people, again, in celebratory things around what's going really well in the organization, informing people around safety and HR initiatives and all those things. And so there's just lots of possibilities with signage in manufacturing. quickly just kind of covering how it works. Carousel is a content management system, and so you log into whatever your favorite web browser might be, and you create some content. We've got lots of great templates. We've got the ability to upload videos and all kinds of other content, connect dynamic things. We'll dive into a little bit more of that in a second. And you connect all that, you schedule it up, and the media players begin to download and play that content out on displays, whatever display choice you have, as large as you might want it to be, out on a shop floor or again in a break room. We'll actually talk about even displaying on tablets and those types of things. And so a lot of power, a lot of simplicity that comes with the marriage of Jamf and Carousel. And the thing that we're really excited about is the role of Apple TV, which has fundamentally changed signage networks and makes it much, much more approachable to everyday organizations that don't have an IT department. And that's why we love working with Jamf, because Jamf understands the importance of empowering IT departments and even making it accessible to organizations that don't even have an IT department to deploy signage. And we love to talk about this idea of shrink wrap to signage. You can literally take that Apple TV, unshrink wrap it, plug that thing in, and display Carousel signage content and get your team trained up in a few minutes to create messages, and away you go. And that's really, as we've talked with manufacturing partners, they're hungry for solutions that can really be deployed that are simple. And I think that we've hit a home run here. I'd like to turn it back over to Danny to kind of dive a little bit more into the Apple TV itself.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges when running a digital signage network is maintaining and updating the software that runs on these many different media players. And this is where tools like Jamf and Carousel, when we come together, we can really shine and help create new efficiencies, help save time, and ultimately reduce some of those costs as well when trying to think through deploying multiple different platforms in your organization. Now, why an Apple TV can be so helpful in an organization is, first and foremost, it's a Jamf manageable platform. And that's valuable to you because at Jamf, we're dedicated, like Kat said, to supporting the entire Apple ecosystem and all of the tools that are available to manage, deploy, connect, and secure Apple devices in an organization. Through our same-day support, we can truly provide you all the tools you need at your fingertips, the moment and the day that they're available to you. We've talked about this a little bit already, but think about that idea of shrink wrap to signage, providing truly a zero-touch deployment-ready solution. What would it look like to put an Apple TV in, plug it into power, maybe connect it to Ethernet, maybe not, and then have the rest of the setup screens fly by? The Carousel app automatically downloads and is installed, and then connects to the Carousel content that you or your team has already created in order to provide information and connect your teams together. The Apple TV platform is already and is extremely cost effective. It's powerful, it's easy to buy, working through your reseller or Apple directly. It partners right within Apple Business Manager and Apple School Manager, so that right when it shows up at your door, it's already in your Jamf managed platform, ready to be managed and ready to be deployed. A great feature within the Apple TV as well is Airplay. Being able to utilize screens in a dynamic way throughout and whenever, throughout your floor, whenever you need to use it. Maybe Airplay some information from your iPad onto the TV display wherever you are on the shop floor, or in the lobby, or even in a meeting room. When people are airplaying, this can cause some interesting information that needs to be overridden. Remember, we need to communicate in a way that provides information for people to stay informed and connected. And sometimes, even in a safety and an emergency situation, we need to override that. So something that's really unique to Carousel and Jamf is our integration that we call Airplay Interrupt. Safety protocols and instructive accidents can cause, we need to interrupt whatever conversation is happening on that Apple TV currently. So we want to help keep employees informed and aware, especially on the factory floor. And if there is an emergency, Jamf Pro has an override feature to interrupt the Airplay session and provide a new configuration for the Apple TV. In single app mode, Carousel then can change the message for that unique conversation. You can even configure a profile to override other applications that are also being deployed on any Apple product. And this will help make sure that everyone sees your message when you want to. We have a quick chart just to show what that might look like. So when an emergency alert system is triggered, which can also be triggered by any common alerting protocol system, such as Alertis or Synapse Revolution, it triggers Carousel Cloud to tell Jamf to change the configuration, and then Carousel displays that message. The Apple TV platform can also be utilized in many other use cases alongside Carousel. You can do different workflows from zero touch like we've talked about, but it also provides you industry and use case flexibility. So we've seen Carousel and Jamf work together for other areas like in healthcare for patient bedside, or other creative options that are unique to you and your specific business. Our smart groups reporting within Jamf Pro allows other integrations and other data to be influenced and displayed on tools such as Power BI and then displayed through Carousel digital signage. And even on a Mac, it can become your screensaver so that when you have multiple devices, think in a lab or at the lobby or in the front office, you can have your custom branding as the screensaver, all powered by the content that's created within Carousel. I'm going to hand it back over to Eric to talk about what it might look like to scale or different use cases within Carousel in your organization.
Certainly, we have experience with manufacturing facilities at very, very different sizes and scales, and across actually the industries that we serve, we see very often organizations, big and small, being able to leverage Carousel, and all of the detail stuff we're not going to dive into today, but even fundamentally how Carousel is architected is designed to enable a very small organization to get started, even a very large organization to get started with digital signage and really grow and scale as needs arise. And we love that model because of a couple of things. If you're a large organization, you certainly want to prove out the value of your investment, the return on investment. And so oftentimes we'll see customers starting in one facility and they'll see the ROI and they'll pretty quickly want to move to a bigger investment within Carousel signage, and you can just kind of let it grow with you. And so as you need devices, as you find opportunities to engage your staff in different ways throughout your facilities, it's very easy for Carousel to grow and expand with you. You just keep ordering those Apple TVs and getting them pointed and configuring those at Jamf Pro, and you can get to scale very, very quickly if that's the needs of your organization. But if you're a smaller organization that just needs 10 or 20 signs, it really is very simple to get started with Carousel, and it's awesome to be able to just, again, use that shrink wrap to signage feature. And if you have facilities across the US, you can just ship those Apple TVs to those facilities and they can just plug them in and away you go. And you can manage it all centrally, but then give decentralized management and content creation to keep all that content fresh. And so we love the power of that. The other thing is really engaging people through the use of the other systems that you already have, tracking your data and publishing things to Carousel that will keep things fresh and kind of engaging your people without having to create everything in a second system. And so as Danny mentioned, the opportunity even to connect with your CAP compliant emergency notification systems, consuming RSS feeds, and love to talk to you a little bit about Power BI specifically, because we're seeing a tremendous uplift in the use of Power BI, especially in the manufacturing space, where it's really important through the production facilities for people to know that they had a great day in production. And so we're seeing manufacturers use this to help their employees kind of know how well they're doing throughout a shift, and even for the managers to provide coaching and see things all again in real time to see really what's happening on the shop floor and just be completely transparent. And so that the power of that is is leading to some really nice uplift in productivity. The employee themselves kind of know where they're at. They're improving and they're finding success. There's even a little bit of competition that we're seeing in some manufacturing spaces. And so there's just a really it's fun for us to see how organizations are utilizing tools like Power BI that they might be using for reporting come alive, because it's great to have reports, but as your team can actually see those things in real time, it really helps an organization all sort of be on the same page, looking at the same metrics and understanding how they're being successful together. And so we're seeing that ultimately, kind of speaking back to connectedness and feeling unified. It is great when you can celebrate the wins and the success in your organization. And so we love the Power BI story. We're excited to see how more and more manufacturing partners and across other industries will push the use of dashboarding and metrics and things to communicate with their teams and see more and more success. And the last thing I want to speak to you about a little bit is obviously, this past year and a half, the world has certainly changed, and where we find ourselves working and how we find ourselves engaging has changed quite a bit. And the power of being in the cloud with Carousel and working alongside Jamf with all the powerful deployment tools they have is we can very quickly pivot and add new functionality and features to engage people. And so we used to say we wanted to engage and inform people where they gather. Well, now we say wherever they are, because oftentimes we have people that are working remotely or within another facility. And so we had the opportunity to create this additional feature called Express Players, where now you can take that same signage content and display that on your Mac OS screensavers so your remote employees can stay engaged, or within the office, they can actually see what's being displayed on the shop floor. On websites, again, engaging your same people that might be on different shifts or in different offices, being able to see all that same content using all the powerful scheduling tools that we have in Carousel to actually drive website content and iPads. And so I love the idea of a manager being able to see all of the different stations that might be under their management to see what their employees are seeing. They can view that on their tablet. As they're walking around, they can be looking on their iPad. And so there's just, again, a lot of exciting things that are being explored with Express Players that we've added in the last year, and being able to manage all of that deployment with Jamf Pro, all the configuration. I know we didn't dive into all the details today, but it is amazing. Not only can you deploy these devices very, very quickly, but you can configure them at scale and get those in the hands of your staff very, very quickly, and really kind of change on a dime, which has certainly been very important for all of our organizations as we continue to navigate a new world. And so we're excited to offer these tools to you. I'm excited to see how some of you on this call might dream about how you're going to take Jamf and Apple TV and Carousel together and really engage your organizations and bring a sense of connectedness you haven't seen before.
Thank you so much, Eric and Danny. I'm going to wrap up and bring us home. And essentially, what I want to talk to you about, I feel like the summary is we want to make it easy for you, for IT, to not have you go running around to touch each box every time something needs an update, right? We want to make sure it's a unified program, and through our partnership, we have a unique workflow that is going to do just that, make it easy and self-sustaining for admins out there. And we have our unique integration not only between Jamf and Carousel, we even brought up Power BI, which is an integration with Microsoft. And many of you out there probably have a majority of perhaps Windows devices, and these Apple TVs may be the only iOS devices you currently have, and are just looking for a way to simplify that. And we really help connect the dots there, but also can integrate so you have what you need at your fingertips. Danny also mentioned our patented reporting. Carousel has that integration with Microsoft. We have our patented reporting to give you really that data you need to digest it. I think when you put all together, it's going to make life easier for admins, saving some money, whether that's from the box or from the software or a bit of both. And really that goal is to make Apple and signage easy. Really that's what we're after here. And that's just some of the unique workflows that we have when it comes to iOS specific to manufacturing. So we covered a few things today at a high level. And if you wanted to try something, if you wanted a proof of concept, you want to see how this could work for your organization, you want to talk to us, say, hey, this is what we're currently using for our signage, or we don't have signage at all, no problem. This is something that we are all experts in here, and we are more than happy to help with. So if there's also workflow perhaps we didn't show you today and you're in manufacturing, let us know. At this time, I want to thank you for joining us, and we're here to help answer any questions you have, get you up and running quickly and efficiently. And I want to let you also know that our JNUC is coming up in October, and we have palette services coming to talk about just what they're doing and fully expand about what Eric spoke of earlier in the presentation. So more to come on that, but we are very focused in supporting industries, and this is a glimpse of how we can help manufacturing with Apple devices, management, and signage. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.